How's it going, guys? So sticking with the channel theme, we're going to be keeping track of the score for the roles that you're about to see. I'm going to be giving commentary on things that I think I can improve upon, things I'm trying to do, kind of give you some insight into what I'm thinking. And like always, if you disagree with the points that I awarded during this match, please feel free to give them in the comments. Please give me a reason like why you disagree. And if you have any tips or areas that you think you could see improvement in, feel free to post that as well. I always think there's room for growth. And we're going to go ahead and jump right into our first match. Alright, so right off the bat, the goal here is to snap him down and to go for a single leg takedown, something I have been working on for quite a bit. This is me coming back after COVID. I've been in the gym for about 2 months. So total time on the mat is 4 months at this point. I think if you've watched the previous tournament video, you can see kind of quite a bit difference what like 2 months really makes. I had a really hard time making this guy do what I wanted to. I couldn't really move him the way I wanted, and he was really good on his feet. I felt like he was definitely better than me on the feet, which, that's going to be what it is. Sometimes you got to figure out how you're going to work around certain situations. I know he has a wrestling background, which I don't. I'm not sure how much that played into how this match kind of set up. I'm really trying to fight for grips here. I couldn't really force him to go anywhere. He gets a really good kind of trip on me there. He ends up getting 2 points for the takedown. He lands right inside control. At this point, I know I don't want him to go to mount. I'm trying to feel for whenever his body shifts. Anytime I can feel him lifting up, I try to throw that leg up. When he puts his hand up on that top of my leg, I reach up and grab my knee to make it tougher for him to come up and around. He ends up going north-south here. It makes it really difficult because I don't know anything about north-south at this point. So I'm doing my best trying to hold him where I want. And anytime I feel him trying to come up, I really try to pay attention to where his body is. One of my escapes I like to do is I like to roll to my stomach and try to come up to my knees. My cardio is still really lacking right now. He's spinning around, doing a good job of kind of controlling my head. We had a really similar game plan. I think some of the attacks I like are the exact same ones he's going for. He is, at the same time, while he's trying to mount me right here, he's trying to work in a lapel choke, which I'm trying to defend. He ends up getting full mount. That's an additional 4 points. And I'm trying to get the lapel off of, like, under my neck. And I make a pretty bad mistake here where I don't actually clear it all the way off my head. I thought that once I had cleared the choke that I was in no danger of being able to be tapped, just because you don't know what you don't know. And I think I'm doing a good job keeping him in half guard here. Still not doing great on shrimping out. He's really controlling me, but struggling to kind of finish that submission. And he just stands up and pulls that lapel back. This isn't really a choke. I tapped just because I was nervous, and I think it's always better to be safe than sorry. And he ends up getting the win there on a submission. So the second match coming into this, I knew that he was better on his feet than me, but I really couldn't change my game plan. So I just figured I'm going to try to snap him down and see what I can get done. I really wanted to try to be aggressive here. You can see he's kind of comfortable on his feet and really willing to stay a little bit looser. I try to snap him down, and he just comes right through and ends up almost taking my back here. At this point, I was really worried about him getting like cross collar choke, or I didn't want him to get his hand up and around me. So the only thing I was really focused on there was just preventing him from getting good grips. Snaps me down, comes over into side control. What I really wanted to do was to spin under and push his knee in between my legs so I could get back to what is it called? Half control, or half guard. I'm sorry, half guard. I don't want to let him pass me, so I'm trying to keep my leg up. He's trying to come up to knee on belly. And all I do to prevent knee on belly is push his knee down and scoot out without trying to give him too much arm for him to attack. I end up getting half guard here, or a few seconds ago, when he wanted to go for the full mount. I was able to snag his legs. He's doing a really good job of kind of trying to control me. And at this point, I'm just trying to figure out, what I can do from here. He ends up getting 3 points for passing my guard, and then gets another 4 points from going into mount. So he went right from my half guard into full mount. He's attacking, or he keeps trying to go for like Americanas and things like that. And luckily, all of his attacks are kind of the same thing I've been working on. So he really struggled to land those submissions on me. I think he's trying to gift wrap me right here. My wife, when she recorded this, had the phone held vertically, so it's kind of zoomed in, a little hard to tell what's exactly going on. I end up trying to come out through the back. He's doing a really good job of just staying on top, and I really just don't want to let him have my arms here. I'm trying to really do my best to try to come out. I'll be honest, he's a big boy too, and it was taking a lot of energy just to try to keep, honestly, the willingness just to keep moving. At one point, you just get so exhausted, and I end up trying to come up to turtle, and he literally just flattens me right out. And this is when I had a pretty good idea I was in a lot of trouble. He just felt so fluid, and I was really struggling. A lot of the stuff he knew, I really didn't have a good handle on. So I'm trying to prevent him from flattening me out. I want to come into him, and then that's just it. That's the end of time for that match. So I ended up losing that one to points, which at the end of the day, losing to points I think is better than losing to a submission. So that's all I could. Obviously you want to ask for a little bit more than that, but I guess it's better than losing by tapping. So coming into the no-gi match, I had been told to not stay so still. I wanted to be a little bit more dynamic in my movements. So I tried to not just sit in the middle of the mat. I was really expecting the no-gi to be a really big struggle, seeing as how he had that wrestling background. I kind of felt like the gi was more of an advantage for me. I ended up getting lucky. He takes a bad shot, and I'll be honest, this was a part of my game plan, was hoping he would take a shot, and I wanted to just sprawl out on top of him. At this point, a lot of my game is just me being in side control. I really thought that I was going to be able to flatten him out here. I get 2 points for the takedown. In my head, I thought this would have counted as full mount, and that was a mistake. I don't actually have him in full mount, as far as I understand. I think he has to have his back on the ground. So when I come out to try to lay on him side control, I make a mistake where he just uses his wrestling to roll me over. At this point, I'm still just trying to work back to some kind of guard. He immediately gets into a mount, which not good. That gives him an additional 4 points. I'm trying to think, what can I do to really get him into a position where I can start working. So I try to push his legs down or get a good grab on his legs. So I like using like a lockdown on his leg. So I'm trying to really get a good grab or put some pressure on his hips. At this point, he's doing his best to kind of work his way up and take control of my right arm. I'm doing my best not to let him just have it for free. And I think at one point here, he just keeps scooting up, and he gets here we go. So he scoots up, he pins my arm with his knee, which funny enough leaves like a giant bruise on my arm. And it's funny how in the moment, I did not feel that at all. I wasn't able to move my arm, but it definitely, it didn't hurt or anything like that. At this moment, I start to feel man, he's really high up on me. And I try to come up and over. At this point, even in my head, I'm thinking, just get to your knees. And I was so exhausted, I couldn't do it. Which, going back to the gym was something I worked a lot on, just building that cardio, stopping. I just never wanted to let that happen again, where I just run out of steam. Because that could have been a really good turning point for me. He gets full mount here. So he's climbing the point ladder. And I'm really trying to work that one arm for a trap and roll. And at one point, he's doing a pretty good job of kind of defending it. So I'm really struggling to get it. And then I feel that I kind of got his foot with the other side. And the second I feel his body shift, I go from trying to roll to my left to immediately rolling to my right, which I get him here with that. He comes up with kind of a fancy choke. I immediately hop up to my feet, or semi-immediately hop up to my feet, which put a lot of pressure on him. I knew he wasn't going to like that, so when he came out, I thought, well, I better try to get to where I need to be. At this point, I look at the clock. I see that I'm down on points. I think I have 4, he has 8. And I really honestly was just hoping to be able to set my hooks in to even up the match. Wasn't able to do it. I knew I wasn't going to be able to do it, but I figure, man, you might as well take the shot that you got in front of you. I was a little disappointed in my performance, but at the end of the day, everything's a learning experience. So this was my third match of the day. It was my first no gi match. I knew that I wanted to stay a little bit more dynamic, and I wanted to try to put a little bit more pressure on him. I think at one point you kind of, I think giving up is where a lot of people go wrong mentally. So, being honest, I knew that it was going to be an uphill battle to put points on the board against this guy, but I really did not want to come out and be passive. So I'm trying a little bit more aggressively for takedowns. I really am trying a little bit harder to make a move. I think sometimes if you have the right mental mindset, that can definitely kind of change the course of things that are like coming out. I went for an arm drag there, and he just shoves me off. And I remember thinking like, well, at least I tried, So I'm trying to stay quick here, but he gets me with like, I'll be honest, with the ankle pick there was so fast, and I did not break fall there, so it knocked the wind out of me a little bit. And I'll tell you what, man, he was just, it was so fast. Even now, I'm always kind of like just impressed at how clean that was. And hopefully one day, I'll have that in my toolkit. I get them really quick with like a lockdown, and one of the things I like, or one of the moves I really like, is called an electric chair. And so in my head, I'm thinking, well, I'm just going to come down and grab his knee and pull his leg over and pull him into like an electric chair sweep. And I'll be honest, it is not it's not as easy as the YouTube videos make it out to be. I'm doing my best to just get to that leg, and he keeps flattening me back out, and I really need to get onto my shoulder. And so I'm trying, and he is definitely not letting me go. At this point, I lose the lockdown. I know I for sure do not want to let that go. I'm not sure if that's a mistake or not, but you got to kind of work what you know. I think at this point, once you're on that tournament mat, you're not learning anything new. You kind of have what you have, and if you can't make that work for you, then that's just going to be what it's going to be. Here, I wish I had sprawled out a little bit faster. Was willing to fight that dog fight a little bit more. When I went to turtle there, I think it was a mistake. One, I knew that he knew how to handle that. I think here his coaches were expecting me to be flat on my back. I was a little confused as to whether or not I should be on my back or in turtle. So I knew when they called go, I did not want him to flip me. So I just rolled over, and I thought that I was going to be able to get some form of guard back here, which he immediately went to mount. So I lost points there, but going back to the gym, things I took away from this is, what can I do from turtle? What do I do when people mount me? I have a really hard time, even now, dealing with what do I do when people are attacking my arms. I think when you're doing drills and things like that, You're learning new techniques in the class. It just takes hours on the mat before those things become like second nature. What do you do in the moment? It's really easy to look at this hindsight and go, man, I should have just done that, or I should have done this. I think even on the mat, like the little victories, like me locking down his leg, I could tell that it frustrated him, which in the moment felt like a victory. I still kind of wonder like how much of that is ends up holding you back or whatever, or trying to stick to too much of a game plan. I think both of us you can see both of us are tired, but yeah, at the end of the day, I think it was a good roll. I just literally walk off the mat forgetting that I'm supposed to have a declared winner.